I want to thank the panel, and you're all spot on. We know what we need to do. This is not a dispute about policy. I want to thank all of you for saying there is an immediate need. It's about real funding. It's not about financing. We have plenty of debt already. We need to get back to the user fee pays and keeps up with those needs. And we've now got several decades of not doing that. And that is a hidden cost, but it is a cost, and we are all paying it every day. John Katko, who I think had to leave, and I were part of a bipartisan group, and I will get you copies of this. 48 members of this House, half Democrats, half Republicans, calling for real funding and real changes. And we need to do that right now. I mean, my home state of Connecticut, our governor has announced he's putting on hold over $3 billion worth of projects until we fix this funding problem. There is no free lunch, there is no free road, there is no free bridge. So here's the question. Mr. Spear, you're totally right. We need the president to lean in. It's not enough to say it's all on the table. It's all been on the table for several decades. So the question for all of us here, but as for you as well, how are members of Congress going to be held accountable for doing something? Not talking about it, but doing. People were held accountable for the easy vote to lower people's taxes. How are members of Congress going to be held accountable by the states, by the truckers, by the chamber, by the people who know the real cost to industry, to individuals? How are we going to be held accountable, carrots and sticks, so that members of Congress actually at this time, with this president, do something right now, because it is immediate need. We need to do it now, and every day we don't do it is a cost to our citizens, and frankly, it is a cost to our democracy. If we cannot do the basics on this, no wonder everybody is so frustrated and so angry when we do know what to do. You know what, Syria and North Korea, we're not sure what to do. We know darn well what to do here. So help us figure out, like, how can you be part of it and what can we do? Thanks.
Well, there's a lot to work with there. You know, look, this is a wonderful venue. I sense a lot of bipartisan spirit in the room about trying to address infrastructure. The policy debate, as I said earlier, you all know how to write highway bills. There's no magic needed there. I think paying for it has always been the impediment. We haven't raised this since '93. If we'd indexed it, the Congressman's right, we probably wouldn't be having this discussion right now. But beyond the hearing, beyond the policy debate and shaping legislation, you got to vote. You got to vote. You got to put these amendments, these funding solutions on the floor and take votes. That's accountability. And we don't do that enough anymore. We used to. 10, 15, 20 years ago, you had regularity, bills passed. Whether you liked it or not, the best policy won, you voted, and things got signed into law. I think the president getting in the game is critical. And I commend him. We would not be having this discussion right now if he hadn't made it so. He saw something during the campaign, now into this year, that no one really else talked about. We're still riding on the tails of fast. Got a couple years left. This is the time to have this discussion. But he's got to lead. He's got to get squarely behind a funding solution or solutions. Take your pick, but don't cough up the menu and say, Congress, you fix it. If that were the case, you would have done that 25 years ago.
Anyone else want to weigh in?
Sure, Congresswoman, I'll weigh in. Look, what we've been doing at the chamber is, you know, Congressman Schuster talked about what Pennsylvania did. It was the Pennsylvania chamber that was standing there. If you go to all these state and local initiatives, it's a state and local chamber. So what we're doing is we're having our state and local chambers. We had 37 of them write a letter to Congress saying, look, it's time for federal action. So we're trying to mobilize our federation around the country and reminding lawmakers, you can do it. They did it. They were successful. It's the business community, working with organized labor, working with public transit advocates. This can be done. I don't know why there's this thought in this town that you can't do this. This committee has led many big bills to do it. It's just time to get the political courage to get it done. All we can offer as the business community, we're willing to stand with you to do it.
And if I could just say, I think it's a powerful coalition when you bring labor and business together and put pressure on members of Congress to do the right thing, to have the political courage, and to be rewarded for taking that stand. So it's time. Thanks.
Thank you all very much.
Mr. Davis.